Did you know that illegal immigration is not just a hot-button issue, but encompasses deeply complex human and geopolitical dramas across the globe? From the allure of the American dream to the life-threatening Mediterranean crossings, today we explore a pervasive phenomenon shaping nations and destinies. We're listing down the top 10 countries grappling with the highest rates of illegal immigration, the economic magnets, the political flashpoints, and the very fabric of contemporary societies. Before we plunge into the secret worlds and untold stories, make sure to hit subscribe to join our globe-trekking community. Get ready to unravel the controversial tale of modern migration and its often invisible human cost. Number 10, United States. Home to the largest population of illegal immigrants in the world, the United States stands at a crossroads of hope and legality. A staggering estimated 11 million undocumented individuals navigate the day-to-day uncertainty that shadows their aspirations, all while contributing to the economic engine of the nation. The American dream, while officially accessible to only the documented, unwittingly fuels the desires and journeys of many seeking a chance for prosperity, luring individuals from afar toward the promise of a better life. This undying allure powers a complex underground economy, interwoven with the aspirations of those who dare to reach for that tantalizing vision, despite its uncertain attainability. Controversial, contentious, and polarizing, the topic of illegal immigration in the United States ignites fierce debates from dinner tables to the halls of power. Policies and presidential decrees swing like pendulums with the winds of political change, highlighting the deeply divided perspectives on how the nation should respond to the humans behind the headlines, yearning to be acknowledged in the land of the free. Number 9, Germany. In the heart of Europe, Germany stands out as a beacon of hope that once opened its arms wide during the peak of the European migrant crisis. The wave of refugees seeking sanctuary from war-torn regions found a major destination in this economic powerhouse, flooding over borders and filling reception centers. German cities became a patchwork of global humanity as families from Syria to Afghanistan pitched their hopes for a fresh start on German soil. But the embrace of desperate newcomers did not come without cost or controversy, particularly marked by Chancellor Angela Merkel's open-door policy. Lauded by some as a moral high ground and slammed by others as a haphazard overreach, the policy became a litmus test for the European Union's stance on immigration. Merkel's stance on Willkommenskultur, or culture of welcome, left an indelible mark on the immigration conversation, reshaping politics not just in Germany, but across the continent as nations grappled with their own responses to the crisis. Yet beneath the policy and politicking lies the real rub of integration. Germany's societal fabric stretched and strained under the weight of rapid demographic shifts. Cultural centers, schools, and neighborhoods became the front lines where the lofty ideals of inclusion met the grueling work of building new lives. The road to assimilation has sparked a flicker of tensions, igniting debates and confrontations as Germany continues to wrestle with defining who and what it means to be German in a modern, multicultural world. In the lands once divided by walls, now lines are drawn in policy, public opinion, and the personal tales of those carving out a place to call home amidst a nation in cultural flux. With each new chapter unwritten, Germany remains at the forefront of global discussions on immigration, its actions setting the stage for an ongoing struggle between unity and division. Number 8, Russia. With the dissolution of the Soviet Union, new national borders transformed overnight, setting the stage for complex migratory patterns. Russia, the largest nation to emerge from the Soviet breakup, became a magnetic hub for those in the former Soviet states seeking the remnants of a shared past. Many are drawn by historical ties, linguistic familiarity, and the hope of a more prosperous future. These immigrants often find a reality sharply at odds with the camaraderie of a common Soviet heritage. Amid the vast expanse of Russia's cities and farmlands, there's a shadow workforce operating largely unseen. In the gleaming edifices of Moscow and the expansive fields of the Russian countryside, illegal immigrants toil for meager wages. They're the silent gears in a machine that drives the construction and agriculture sectors, propped up on the backs of those willing to work for less, with fewer complaints and no legal protections. This cheap labor force is essential, yet unacknowledged, bolstering an economy that benefits from their labor while turning a blind eye to their status. But life for an illegal immigrant in Russia comes with the ever-present specter of stringent control. The Russian government's resolve to police its borders has forced many into precarious living conditions, skirting the fringes of society to avoid detection. Caught between the need to survive and the fear of expulsion, they navigate a fraught existence, carving out lives in the underbelly of Russian cities. Living under the radar, they are but phantoms in a land that simultaneously needs and rejects them. Number 7. Malaysia. Nestled in the heart of Southeast Asia, Malaysia emerges as a beacon for those seeking the shadowed alleys of illegal immigration. The country's vibrant cities, relative stability, and economic growth present a stark contrast to its less fortunate neighbors, offering a glimpse of prosperity on the horizon. Yet underneath this allure lies a labyrinth of undocumented journeys, with countless hopefuls risking it all to cross borders in pursuit of a new beginning. Beneath the gleaming skylines and bustling markets, a darker reality festers. Immigrants, lured by the promise of work, find themselves ensnared in a web of exploitation. Malaysia's construction sites, palm oil plantations, and domestic sectors are rife with tales of workers trapped in debt bondage, forced labor, and unspeakable living conditions. Without legal protection, these silent members of Malaysia's workforce toil away, their basic rights evaporating in the sweltering heat, all in exchange for wages that barely skirt the edges of survival. The Malaysian government, caught between the need for cheap labor and the clamor for law and order, responds with a heavy hand. Raids and crackdowns punctuate the rhythmic hum of everyday life, sending ripples of fear through communities built on fragile foundations. Each operation to detain and deport reverberates like a thunderclap, a stark reminder of the country's fraught approach to immigration. Human rights groups raise their voices in protest, pointing to the cycles of arrest and abuse, igniting international debates about the ethical treatment of those who exist in the margins. Number 6. United Kingdom. Brexit has brought the UK's immigration issues into sharp relief, carving deep divisions across the country. The promise of taking back control of the British borders resonated with many, making the topic of illegal immigration a towering presence in the Brexit debate. Yet, despite leaving the EU, the UK has not stemmed the relentless tide of those seeking its shores. Small boats continue to brave the treacherous waters of the Channel, their passengers risking everything for a chance at British soil. The lure of the UK is powerful. Its robust economy acts as a beacon, easily outshining the perilous realities of illegal entry. For countless individuals, Britain represents an opportunity for prosperity, a chance to build a life far from the poverty and instability of their homelands. It's a narrative as old as time, the pursuit of a better future, compelling enough to eclipse the daunting obstacles and risks that lurk in the shadows of every illicit journey to the United Kingdom. Public opinion in Britain sits at a crossroads, as varied as the landscapes that make up the realm. In some British communities, there's a palpable sense of empathy, a willingness to offer sanctuary to those who arrive with nothing but hope in their hearts. Others advocate for the fortification of borders, demanding stringent measures to curb the influx of undocumented immigrants. It's a dichotomy that reflects the UK's struggle to reconcile its humanitarian instincts with the overriding imperative to safeguard its borders. Number 5. South Africa. In the bustling streets and the expansive gold mines, South Africa stands as a beacon of economic hope for many across the African continent. Attracted by the promise of employment and a shot at stability, regional immigrants arrive in droves, seeking the glow of better opportunities. Yet, They often find themselves enmeshed in a spider's web of economic disparities, grappling with a reality where hope and hardship collide. The disparity between the wealth flaunted in the gleaming towers of Johannesburg and the poverty endured by many who journey there is stark, a gulf that undocumented immigrants fall into, seeking a foothold in a land where legality and survival are at odds. But beneath South Africa's sky-reaching dreams, a darker narrative unfolds. Xenophobia courses through townships and cities alike, flaring up into widespread violence. Immigrants, caught in the shadows of legality, become the scapegoats for deeper societal frustrations. Tales of homes torched and lives taken in a fury of fire and fear are harrowing reminders of the chasm between law and vigilantism. These stories ring through the streets, underscoring a perilous existence for those navigating the narrow alleys of bureaucracy and bias. Caught between calls for stronger borders and the cry of human rights advocates, South African policymakers find themselves in an uneasy deadlock, a game of chess with human pawns. In a muddle of policy paralysis, the government's struggle is palpable as it seeks to assert control while caught in the crosshairs of humanitarian considerations. Enforcement swoops down in waves, yet the tide of illegal immigration swells relentlessly, each new arrival a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who risk all for a semblance of security. With every move on the political board, South Africa's challenge deepens, etching lines of division and demanding answers that remain just beyond reach. Number 4, Canada. Beneath the mask of amiable maple leaves and apologies lies a nation with immigration policies as sturdy as the Rockies. Canada, globally hailed for its warm embrace of different cultures, contrasts sharply with a surprisingly stringent approach to illegality at its gates. In the complex tapestry of immigration, Canada's thread is both vividly inviting and inconspicuously tough, drawing lines in the sand as firm as the steadfast Mounties upholding them. Unfurling the map reveals a long, often underplayed border with the United States, a gateway for clandestine crossings rather than a bridge between neighbors. Contrary to the frenzied scenes at more notorious borders, the quiet woods and unassuming backroads become silent witnesses to the surreptitious journeys of those seeking a life within Canadian borders. This northern passage, fringed with pines, whispers tales of escape and asylum, creating invisible trails etched not in geography, but in hope and resolve. Within Canada's cities, from Vancouver to Montreal, immigrant stories unfold, shaping the very essence of vibrant metropolises and stirring debate about the nation's fabric. It's in these urban centers and rural outposts where the conversation divides. Is Canada strengthened by this mosaic of new faces, or does it bow beneath the weight of integration? The societal ledger remains open, its pages filled with stories of opportunity and accounts of strain, challenging Canadians to contemplate the immigrant's place in the Great White North's ongoing narrative. Number 3, Italy. A land of rich history and Mediterranean allure, Italy stands on the front line of a human tidal wave. As a primary gateway for migrants seeking sanctuary or prosperity in Europe, Italy has become synonymous with the perilous crossing of the Mediterranean Sea. Every year, thousands of desperate souls embark on this treacherous journey, often on rickety vessels hardly seaworthy, driven by the hope of reaching Italian shores. In doing so, they not only brave the unforgiving waves, but also the relentless currents of Italian politics. The nation's approach to immigration swings like a pendulum, tightly linked to its volatile political climate. One government's open-armed policy can overnight turn into the next administration's iron fist. This erratic policy landscape leaves thousands of lives hanging in the balance, their fate closely tied to the ever-shifting winds of electoral fortunes. As politicians debate and policies seesaw, illegal immigrants find themselves caught in the throes of uncertainty, their dreams caught up in a storm of red tape and rhetoric. Beneath the veneer of Italy's scenic beauty and cultural magnificence brews a cauldron of local resentment. The populace's frustration is often stoked by high-profile cases of immigrant crime, which electrify the airwaves and stir the pot of public opinion. With every incident, tolerance phrase and communities are pushed to the edge, igniting anti-immigrant sentiment. This groundswell of opposition not only shapes the nation's immigration discourse, but also casts a long shadow over the many who seek nothing more than safety and a fresh start. Italy's historic cobblestones bear witness to the new chapters of strife, hope, and hostility defining the migration saga. Number 2, France. In the winding streets of France, every cobblestone whispers tales of the country's grand colonial past. But these historical narratives are not without their thorns. As the modern nation grapples with illegal immigration, ghosts of colonial ties linger, complicating an already heated debate. France's former African colonies form an intricate web of connections, creating a migration pattern bolstered by shared language and history. Yet these deep-seated roots also tangle discussions, casting shadows over policies and the lived experiences of many seeking a new life. Just beyond the glittering lights of Paris and the romantic vineyards of the countryside lie the banlieues, stark suburban landscapes marked by social and economic strife. These concrete jungles, often dominated by immigrant populations, have become synonymous with segregation and destitution. Here, dreams of idyllic French living collide with harsh realities, as many undocumented immigrants confront a daily struggle for survival amidst alienating urban sprawl. Their plight, largely unseen by the tourist's eye, fuels fierce debates on social welfare and integration, as France continues to seek solutions to the schisms drawn along lines of prosperity and mere subsistence. Amidst the aromatic cafes and haute couture fashion houses, France's soul is caught in a tug-of-war over national identity. On one side, the staunch defenders of laïcité, the French brand of secularism, wrestle with the multicultural tapestry woven by waves of immigrants. The other side challenges the very notion of what it means to be French in an increasingly pluralistic society. High-profile crimes linked to immigrants stoke the fires of anti-immigrant sentiment, while others call for empathy and inclusion, advocating that the beauty of France lies in its ability to embrace and adapt to a changing world. In this land famed for its revolutions, the conversation on illegal immigration and national identity remains a revolutionary battle unto itself, defining not just laws, but the heart of France's future. Number 1, India. At the heart of Asia, India stands as a nation grappling with the complexities of neighborhood migration. Historical and continuous, the flow of undocumented migrants across borders with neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Nepal is propelled by centuries-old connections that transcend modern geopolitical lines. Yet, even as these shared histories draw people in search of better lives, they also bring to India's doorstep the intricate challenges linked to illegal immigration. Within its vast and varied expanse, India's tapestry is woven with deep religious and ethnic threads that, at times, become knotted with tension. Demographic conflicts flare up as the influx of illegal immigrants stokes fears and fuels discord among communities. These divergences escalate to the forefront, igniting political firestorms and societal clashes that underscore the urgency of addressing the delicate balance between inclusion and security. Amidst urban sprawl and rural stretches, India's economic landscape demonstrates startling disparities. The allure of economic opportunity beckons many to the informal sector, a shadowy realm where documentation takes a backseat to survival. This underground economy becomes a thriving hub for undocumented labor practices, out of sight, yet integral to the nation's functioning. Regional development gaps further exacerbate the situation, pushing and pulling the undocumented in an unending cycle of economic necessity. As we've trekked through the complex terrain of illegal immigration across the globe, it's clear that the issue is far more than just headlines and statistics. The human stories intertwined with these facts resonate with the struggle, the hope, and the often harsh reality encountered on this journey. From the far-reaching dreams that spur a treacherous trek to the United States to the economic disparities driving a dangerous diaspora to South Africa, each nation grapples with its own unique challenges and societal impacts. For these countries, the intricate dance between upholding laws and embracing humanity continues to test the threads of national identity and global responsibility. As the world watches and waits, the fate of millions hangs in the balance, prompting us to reflect on our shared human experience and the ever-changing mosaic that immigration weaves into the fabric of societies worldwide. Remember, the stories of illegal immigrants and the countries they move to are more than just fleeting news clips. They're the embodiment of resilience and the pursuit of a life imagined. Stay tuned to Globe Trekking as we continue to explore, understand, and empathize with the people and places that shape our world. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join our community of Globe Trekkers. And if this video sparked your interest, check out our next video where we delve deep into the life-changing paths of refugees seeking asylum.